Friends and family, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for day 2 of this 4-game homestand for the Eastern Washington Eagles tonight, facing off against the University of California, San Diego Tritons. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined by Gary Allen. And Gary, I missed last night's game, didn't go in Eastern's favor, but tell us what you expect to see from the team in black tonight as they host the UC San Diego Spartans for the first time this weekend.
Well, I think what's important for Eastern tonight compared to last night, they just got to go back to their style of wide open style of hockey, use the body a little bit, but spread out a little bit more than what they did yesterday. They had a good game yesterday, even though it was 7-0. It was a good hockey game. It was just a strange game. But if Eastern plays their style, which is using their speed, spread out, anticipatory, they'll be fine tonight. And again, I only briefly saw UCSD yesterday, so I'm not sure if they're the same team as they brought up last year or if it's a different bunch, but we will find out here pretty soon. But Eastern, again, they played strong yesterday.
UCSD still looking for their first win of the season. And it looks like we're going to see our first penalty of the day. It's going to be a trip. against UCSD. So Eastern Washington going to head to the power play for the first time tonight.
Right now. Hopefully we got that corrected.
And that was some quick feet was Nakashima. He came down the ice there quick, Gary. This is a speedy little team UCSD has put together. I remember that from the last couple of years. I assume that they'll stay the same here this year, at least so far from what we've seen.
Well, looking at them from last year, again, that's the only thing I can base off of. But I'm looking down the roster. I recognize a lot of names. They do use speed quite a bit. They're not a real physical team, but they like to use their size and their quickness on it. And Eastern's going to have to be prepared for that. I think that kind of threw Eastern a little bit off last night because Cal, they're a very quick team also. And so, but I have high hopes for Eastern. I do. I think if they play their game tonight, they'll be in this contest. It's just hopefully they can get on the board. That's what I think hurt them last night. They just couldn't solve Comey from Cal Berkeley, and I think they got frustrated at the end of the game.
There's a quick chance there by Eastern Washington. And you have to kind of assume that it's been a frustrating season for the players, at least the last month or so. A shot by Smith and snatched out of the air by Michael Haskins. But they've played so much extra hockey over the last few weeks. They've had 2 overtime losses, a shootout win. All of that starts to weigh on you, especially because those have been relatively low-scoring games, other than was an 8-8 game at UW.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they have struggled a little bit scoring, especially in tight games.
But that's what's interesting about Eastern this year. If you think about it, they're actually scoring, 4 or 5 goals most of the time. You would think that would be enough, and there just seems to be a little bit a tendency to drop off. But I really like this squad. I truly do, and I think they're going to do really well the rest of this year. They just got to find a little more of their identity, and they'll be fine.
And Thompson back with it in front of his own net. 30 seconds left on the power play for the Eagles. Circling back behind his own goal is Pellerin. He's got a setup. He's looking to use his wheels. Cuts towards the outside. Now across the blue line. Eastern Washington still in possession. Back to Jelinek. Over to Pellerin. Pellerin behind the net to Lund. Lund tries to feed it out front, but it goes behind the cage. Jelinek still with it. 6 seconds left, and the Eagles lose that all the way down the ice. That's pretty much going to do it for their power play here, as out of the box comes Adrian Chavez, not Alex Nakashima. So it was Chavez that was assessed a 2-minute minor for tripping.
But again, even though Eastern didn't score, they had some nice plays set up on that power play, and that'll bode well for them because it looks like right now they're playing the way they want to. They're using their speed, their quickness, and spreading. The Tritons, is that? They're spreading them. They're making them chase them, and that's important.
Now here comes Robbie Arver, makes one man miss. And unable to hold on to it, has that taken away, and now the white uniforms heading the other direction. Katoashin with that shot back over to Flood. Flood on the right side. He's got Arver in the middle. Frank going to hold on to it. Surveys the zone. Kicks it back up to the far point. Bouncing puck out front, and wisely, Arver just let that go. He made the netminder make the save there. A little bit of a dummy movement out front and almost worked. But a good kick save by Haskins.
Haskins looks sharp right now. Even though it's early in the game, he's made 3 outstanding stops. Now I'm going to go on the limb here, Tyler. And didn't UCSD used to be called the Spartans? When did they change their nickname?
That's a great question. That's San Jose State.
Okay.
There's Too many nautical themes. Figure it out, California.
Oh, that's what threw me. He said the Tritons. It was like, oh, I thought they were the Spartans.
Yeah, it's the big fork that Neptune holds.
The big fork.
Some extracurriculars in the corner. At least one guy going to the box. And we'll see who it is. I believe that we may have one from each side.
Well, they're still chirping. That's Carson Kendall for the Eads. And no, he's not going in the box.
So it looks like it's only going to be Adrian Chavez.
Well, Chavez
must have liked what he saw the last time he was there.
Chavez and Kendall, they were yapping at each other going toward their benches. So I don't know.
Let's see what the actual call there was. But either way, he's going to have to sit in timeout.
Well, he'll reflect. He'll do some reflecting out there. Well, I tell you one thing, it's good to have you back here in the booth with me.
It's good to be back here. Spent yesterday at a youth hockey tournament. Didn't quite go the way that that team wanted.
Yeah, I told people you had a prior commitment, but it's still good to have you back.
Battle for it down in the corner. Jelinek able to come away with it. Goes off to the far side. Surveying the ice is Dzurkis. He's going to put it up top and put it right into the back end of Peyton Lund. Peyton still battling. They're going to blow that one dead as Peyton had it on his stick. Goalie had never covered that one up. Peyton pulled it out, shot, and then he blew the whistle halfway through the shot. So Eastern Washington has one taken away from him there.
Can we replay that? Since we got a replay man back here.
Yeah.
I want to see that because that was interesting. I thought the puck was going to go in. I'm not sure why they blew it.
We'll have to watch the official here because I don't know that we've got audio. Right out front, and there's where the whistle is not even in the official's mouth when Lund pulls out that puck. So Eastern Washington had one called off last night, has one called off tonight. They're hoping that it goes better than it did against the Cal Golden Bears. A 0-7 loss for the Eagles here at home in the PAC8. Arver loses his footing. Tries to get the puck over to Wyatt Stevenson. Wyatt has to battle. Arver going to come in and try and dig that away from Andrew Chua. Chua still pushing Arver all the way down the wall. Finally, it looks like that's Gutzilis that came in and pulled that one out.
Chua is a heck of a hockey player. I remember seeing him play, and he has a very high IQ.
Eastern with it on the right side. Now Pellerin has it, tries to feed it out front, decides to hold on to it, and then has it sticked away as he pushed it towards the center on the stick of DeFreitas. And now he's going to go near side. That one sent in and around off the stick of Wang. And now the Eagles looking to set up and head back the other direction. Dzurkis with it. He has a couple of white uniforms in front of him. 1.5 now. Stand-up save by Haskins. And now Best with it. Up top to Wells. Wells towards the net, just off of the mark, bouncing off of that rebound. Out front, over the goaltender and in the back of the net. And Eastern Washington strikes first just a few seconds after that penalty expired. And just like that, Eastern Washington up 1-0 over the visiting Tritons. And you see it here, fed out to the corner. And then it's all set up here from the top. Wells puts that on. Eastern knows the bounces. And that's just a pure grit goal, Gary.
It was. Lund just kept digging, and he positioned himself right on the back door, actually. And he did a nice job of battling. But Lund's an outstanding offensive hockey player. Plays good deep, but, I mean, he just has a lot of skill. And I'm glad to see Eastern got a quick start tonight because that's what I was concerned with is how are they going to start?
Almost a tic-tac-toe goal there. That goal officially 6:51 of the first period. Lund from Best and Wells Again, 16:51 of P1. Lund from Best and Wells puts Eastern Washington up by 1, an even strength goal here for the Eagles.
And again, looking at them tonight, they've got more fire into them, and which is good to see because you never know how they were going to respond from yesterday's game. But this goal really has put some life more into them than when they started, and that's just good to see because Eastern has the offensive talent to put a lot of points up. They just got shut down yesterday by an outstanding netminder.
Well, I think there's a reason that Cal is undefeated in the season and undefeated in the PAC8 so far, and it's not because they've played easy teams. I mean, not that there is any easy teams in the ACHA, but they've definitely put in that work, and Eastern saw that last night. We'll have to see if they can bounce back tonight and set themselves up with some momentum heading into the 6 o'clock matinee game tomorrow against the Cal Golden Bears.
But I tell you, I've been impressed with Haskins, how he's played so far tonight. He's really stood up. He's been hard to figure out, but he's played outstanding net for the Tritons.
Wells going to rim that down and around the corner. Smith has it. He tries to push it out front. Dezerkis has to chase, but now it's the Tritons heading the other direction.
Here comes Lusk. He's on his horse. He's got Smitty on his far right.
Instead, he decides to take that shot and just wide of the net. Now back out front. Smitty is there. He lays it off easily for Lusk. And Lusk with the rebound came all the way back out to him at the top of the slot.
That was a nice attack, though, by Lusk, Smith, and Dezerkis. They put a lot of heat on Haskins right there. I love to see when Dom gets going. He's a joy to watch.
Arver blows up a guy behind the play. That one, I think, maybe even a couple of steps late on Adrian Chavez. But the official standing right there. Nothing coming. Swallowed up by Luke.
Shibula.
Chachubiola.
That's it. Chachubiola. I'm going to get that. I'm serious. I know his parents are listening. I'll guarantee you I'll get that name correct. But it's good to see Luke in net. He's going to be the future of the Eagles in the net mining department.
Chua going to give chase out into the corner, and Arver looking to use his body to shield the puck, but just a couple of steps behind. Up to the top of the zone to DeFreitas. Bouncing puck just outside the blue paint. And now the Eagles with numbers as Flood on the right side. He's got Roach behind him. Arver in the middle. He's going to circle around in the corner. Nobody at the point, and Roach down hard in the center of the zone.
Yeah, he got hit from behind, and they're going to get a.
I'm going to call that a trip. That's an interesting call. I mean, definitely an infraction there.
And now we got Kendall
going to get sent to the box for saying something as Chua went past. So Eastern again, foot and mouth disease.
Well, on that one, I think Kendall took exception to how Roach got hit on that one. I mean, he was letting the Triton know that he didn't appreciate it. And I don't know all the wording that he said. He might have chirped at the ref too.
Well, we'll see if they give him 2 here, or if they just give him the 10-minute misconduct, or 10-minute unsportsmanlike, I should say. The captain's out there having a conversation.
One thing I've noticed about the Tritons this year compared to when I was watching last year, they use the body a little bit more than what they have in the past. They're not ducking the contact of it, but again, Eastern doesn't mind either, as you can see in their penalties that they get.
So it looks like they're going to go 4-on-4 here, or at least that's what they showed initially. But I'm not seeing anything going up on the board, so maybe it is
10-10?
5-on-5 here?
I don't know.
Score table is definitely looking at the scoreboard. So not sure if they're looking at the clock or looking to set something up. And the 4-on-4 is at the official's discretion. I mean, technically, these were two separate penalties, so most officials would go with the 4-on-4 here, but ACHA officials, I mean, the head official here, or the head referee tonight, Jeremy Del Campo, he's got some high-level games in him.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been to a WHL game, you've definitely seen him out there. So he's got control of the game, and looks like they are going to go 4-on-4 now. Both penalties on the board. So 10:01 left in this first period, and we'll have 4-on-4 hockey. Carson Kendall, 2 minutes for, I would assume, unsportsmanlike. I'm not sure if there's any other penalties you can get for jawing at the other players.
No, I think he said a few extra words.
And that is what it is.
Carson was just trying to express himself. You know, he's trying to communicate. That's all he was doing.
It sounds like they had quite a good time last night down at the Barrel House.
Yeah.
Both California teams joining Eastern down there. Everybody cordial, getting along, having lots of pizza. So maybe they're talking about heading back there. Barrel House, fantastic barrel bites. Eastern still buzzing here as Lund tried to put that one in from an odd angle. It's chopped back down by Pellerin. This one out front to Jelinek. Jelinek has to battle the skater Tartaglia and the netminder there.
You talk a strong game. Jelinek had one strong game last night.
It looks like Eastern going to go back to the box. So 4-on-3 for 108. A high stick to Lund. So just 52 seconds after the last one. Eastern going to send another man to the box at 10:51.
Well, what's interesting, Eastern did such a nice job of staying out of the penalty box last night. I don't know the total.
Am I the bad luck, Gary?
Well, no, that's
what's happening here?
I wasn't insinuating that. I was going to say, now I'm going to think about it. I'm going to reflect. Now I'm thinking here, because they did an outstanding
If they
job
take
yesterday.
penalties tonight and tomorrow and don't on Monday, I may have to reevaluate my position here.
But they used their head yesterday, and so hopefully they can realize, like, no, they don't need to be in the box because they controlled themselves well yesterday. But now I'm going to reflect on it. Maybe it is Tyler in here right now because it's like, oh, I think they got more penalties right now than they had the whole game yesterday.
And speaking of the games yesterday, as the Tritons come into the zone, we mentioned it, Eastern losing 0-7 to Cal. Last night they lost 13. UCSD lost 13-1 to Washington State. The other game today was Washington State against Cal, and Cal beat WSU 7-4. Now the Tritons looking to set up from behind the net. 15 seconds left. And a lucky deflection for Eastern Washington is off Smith's skate. It goes all the way down the ice. Now back up ahead. Tatuin heads back to the bench. As now it's Miller with it. Big bounce off of the far side. Miller going to chase it down into the corner. He has to battle Brody Roach, and Roach wins that one, at least for the moment, as it kicks out up top to Chua. Chua shot taken towards the front of the net. Now Roach looking for that stretch pass to Jelinek. He finds his way back behind one defender. Stevenson crashes the net. And Jelinek using him as a screen, and then Stevenson trying to slap home that rebound, but couldn't get it done. Out into neutral ice now is Weissmuller.
But that was a nice play by Jelinek. He just kind of ducked under the tightening and got a nice little shot off. Then great job by Haskins on that, because if he would have got the rebound the other way, Stevenson would have buried it in the net.
Chavez down the left side, sticked up into the netting, and it'll hang out there for a little while. Well, at least until Dom knocks it off.
You're on top of your game tonight right now, aren't you?
So 3 seconds left on the Lund minor penalty, as both players from the previous incident, Chua and Carson Kendall, both exited the box. And now out of the box comes Lund. He's going to head straight to the bench. Smitty on the ice. And that's where they're going to go with the puck. Sean Smith on the far side. Here comes Lusk with speed. Kicks it up to himself. DeZerkis holds up just enough. And Lund can't get a shot off. He's going to go over to Dom on the near side. DeZerkis with it. Looks to feed it out front. Pushed away by the Tritons. And a big shot by Nate Kowalik on the far side. And sticked into the netting by Haskins for his 10th save of the night. The Tritons only one shot so far, despite having a chance on the man advantage.
Eastern's doing a really nice job of attacking. They're putting a ton of pressure on the Tritons D, and that's going to bode well for Eastern because they're getting closer and closer to getting that puck in the net. But nice job of attacking the Tritons.
Coming down to the left side is DeFreitas. He's put into the wall. And the puck back out into neutral ice. Tritons looking to build something up as they come into the zone off the wall. DeFreitas picks it up, has it taken away almost immediately, still battling for it. And able to bouncing puck back behind. They're going to say no, and then finally able to poke it in was DeFreitas. It was Roach that was able to pull that one right off of the goal line, but back behind the net, Alex Nakashima, and I can't see who it is for Eastern Washington. It looks like it might be Sean Smith. They came together hard at the beginning of that play.
And that's what's nice, having two trainers Eastern has.
And we'll see if we can get a replay here while they're working with the players on the ice here. So you see it come in, and right here, a couple of players back together behind the net. And I think that was Roach that, if we can back it up again here in just a second, take another look.
Yeah, just a little bit. Because it took a really weird hop. Luke had it, and it went straight up in the air and then took a weird bounce behind him.
So you see that push out front. I can't see who that was that slid in there late. It looks like it was Josh Boot who slid in there. He's still slow to get up. The Triton player, Alex Nakashima, being helped back to the bench. They came together hard, and Boot took kind of the brunt of that. He slid, you saw that in the replay, head first past the goal, and then looks like Nakashima maybe fell on top of him or after he got pinned into the board. So good to see both of those players heading back to the bench, neither one heading directly to the locker room. That's typically a good sign.
And I noticed with Boot, the training staff, they're briefly talking to him, but I think he's shaking it off, which is good to see because he's got back in the lineup. And he's a good little defenseman, and he took a dive on that one, trying to get that puck a little bit further out. So, but that's what I was saying earlier. That's what's nice about Eastern. They have trainers that working. So, actually, one of them is working with the Triton bench, and so that's a luxury to have that Eastern's got going for them. And they're both outstanding guys. Well, one of them, Jaden Hofacker, played for Eastern hockey, and then Jose's been around for a long time with Eastern hockey. So it's good to see.
So we'll get the official goal call here in just a moment as San Diego able to poke that one back behind the netminder. And they went back and forth for a minute there, Eastern did, trying to save that one and just could not.
It was a weird hop.
So they're actually going to give that goal to Alex Nakashima. So Eastern saved it off of the goal line right into the back of Shichubiawa and then bounced right back into the net. So they had it there for a second, but at the end of the day, he had to work for it. But Alex Nakashima gets that goal unassisted and gets UC San Diego right back in it.
Well, that's what I was meaning. Chudiaba, he made the save, and the puck went really straight up in the air, and then it came back behind him. But he made the initial save.
And it landed right on the goal line.
Yep.
And there was an Eastern player there that whacked at it and hit him right in the back and then into the back of the net.
It kind of reminisced from yesterday's game. There was a couple, 2, 3 really odd goals that went in. And again, nothing against Cal. Cal played a strong game. They got a good team. But there was a couple of them that took some real weird bounces that got into the net because Kennedy played outstanding last night. And that was a typical, that reminded me of just how that goal went in. Because Luke initially made the save. He just took a weird hop.
Well, and as a netminder, you're kind of taught. You make that initial save, and your team needs to clear off wherever that rebound is. And a lot of goalies, a lot of the training is deflecting the rebound where it needs to go. But their job is make that first save, and after that, it's up to the team. And the team did try.
Yeah.
To give them credit. They had it there. But unlucky bounces, so we're at 1-1. Good work by Alex Nakashima to put that one on net to begin with. A good hard shot that he ended up unfortunately paying for on the back end.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the Titans on really how they're trying to utilize their speed. Eastern's done a nice job of clogging up the neutral zone right now with them. I would like to see Eastern a couple times, and they're famous for this. They'll stretch passes, see if they can get behind the D-man of the Titans, and they haven't tried that yet tonight, which surprises me.
I think that was an attempt there by Lund, but right onto his bench. A little early souvenir for the boys.
Well, it is a 25th anniversary puck, so.
Collector's items. 4:57 to go. Eastern 11 shots, UCSD only 4, but that's all they've needed to keep this one level at 1. Puck at the top of the zone, shot in, and Luke able to hold on to that one. Caught a bit of a stick from Nate Kowalik, trying to make sure that he had a hold of it. But a good shot off of the stick of Sean Miller for San Diego. It'll be Sean Smith for Eastern Washington. And Emma Hewler for San Diego, and it's Eastern that comes away with it. Roach over to the far side to Lusk. He pushes it ahead to Smith. Smith parallel to the blue line. Gets it over to DeZerkis just a bit behind him. DeZerkis has a couple of options. Goes up to the top of the zone to Pellerin. Pellerin on net out front, covered up by Michael Haskins.
But see, you can see now Eastern, they're getting in their style. They're anticipating because the Durkas did a nice job of having the puck down just off to the right. Haskins and Pellerin did a really superb job of sneaking in a little bit farther and got a nice shot. But Pellerin, he's another kid last night. Unbelievable play out of him last night. He was stout for Eastern.
Eagles with it in the attacking end. Backhanded down behind the net where Andrew Chua is going to give chase. Chua performed well, if I remember, last year in the PAC8 skills competition.
He was outstanding last year.
And the goal is to do that again, that PAC8 championship tournament early February here in Cheney. Be sure to follow PAC8 Hockey on Instagram. Make sure you follow their new page. They're doing a great job this year of making sure everybody's well informed. But you don't want to miss when those tickets go on sale. They'll have full weekend passes, banquet passes, all sorts of options for fans this year at the PAC8 championship tournament in February. Right out front for Arver, and he gets just a little bit of it onto the leg pads of Haskins. And now on the other side, all alone with the netminder is Fitzgerald, but he can't get to the puck in time. He feeds it to a perfect spot, but the only person there was Pellerin in an Eastern Washington uniform. That one touched up by Kendall. And Carson parks himself in front of the net as his teammates fight for the puck along the low wall in front of the hot seat. He's going to go back there. Feeds it out front. Quick shot by Flood. A good 1-2 combination there of Carson Kendall and Frank Flood. Wells tries to beat out that icing, but nothing coming. So UCSD gonna have to keep those tired legs on the ice, at least for a moment as the puck comes down into their zone. Be left glove side, or stick side rather, of Michael Haskins.
One thing I noticed, Tyler, that Eastern's doing in this game, they've mixed up their lines tonight. They don't have the same pairings that they had in the previous game, so I find that fascinating. And I think it's just seeing if they can generate more offense.
And so far, they found the back of the net at least once, but they've had 15 opportunities. Michael Haskins doing a good job of putting himself and his equipment away.
He's had an outstanding game.
Chavez looking for that stretch pass, gets it behind Eastern's defense. Roach going to have to fight for it. He gets there first, chops it over near side to Nickish. Back around the net. Nickish looking to go through the neutral zone. He's back behind a lot of the San Diego defense, but the Eagles can't get it out of their zone. Finally able to. Thompson along the low wall. Off the glass, back behind the cage. Backhand over into the far corner. San Diego, UC San Diego not afraid to play with the puck in their own end tonight.
No, they're actually developing a cycle out of it. They're not rushing themselves or making sure that they set up, and that's an intriguing system.
And they're looking to find that player on the far side in front of the scorer's table that can just squirt behind the defense, and they've done it a couple of times. That may work out in their favor if Eastern can't adjust to it. Best high dump down into the corner. Lund the first one there. Fires a rocket off of the backside of the cage there. Players down behind the play, but Wells going to pick it up on top of the PAC8 logo on his own side of the ice. Out into neutral zone now. Jelinek has to clear the zone before Wells can dump it high into the corner. A little bit of dump and chase for the Eagles. And they're the ones able to put in that work and get the puck into the corner, or out of the corner, I should say. Cheney surveys the ice, full 200 feet to go. Has a man, and that one, good billiards bounce, but not quite enough to get it to the goal mouth. So that'll be an icing puck coming down towards the eastern end of the ice in the shadow of the scoreboard, 1-1. Just want to give a big shout out to the Eagles hockey boosters. They're the ones that help things like the post-game party at Barrel House or our new cool train goal horn happen here at the URC. Thank you so much to everybody that signed up to be a member so far this year. We've got some great and unique volunteer opportunities coming. It's just $50 to support the team. You get a special lanyard. You get a signed picture. Luke's on his back end next to the net there. But you can find out more information at eagleshockeyboosters.com. See how you can support the team and see how you can get involved. eagleshockeyboosters.com. But now 18.5 left to play in this first period. Tartaglia wins that for his team, but it goes off to the far side. Now Eastern with just seconds left. Lund, he overskates the puck, tries to get to Pellerin. It's out into the neutral zone. 6 seconds left. Roach with it, thinks about the shot, puts it on net, bounces out front, nobody in a red uniform, and that'll do it for the first period of action here in Cheney. Eastern Washington controlling most of the pace of play, but UCSD able to keep it level, and you can see the frustration on Eastern Washington's body language, Gary, as they head to the locker room. They expected a much better first period out of themselves.
But I'm hoping it doesn't wear on them. They had a great game plan. They're attacking really well. They keep that up, the puck will go in the net just as long as they don't get in their head. Like, okay, well, how are we going to solve this net minor? They played a strong first period, and they just got to pick it up and maybe do a little bit more in the neutral zone. But I like what Eastern's doing right now.
Nakashima skating himself to the locker room for UCSD. Still a little gingerly there, so we'll keep an eye on him as we come out of this break. But after 20 minutes in Cheney, it's Eastern Washington 1, UCSD 1. We'll be back for the second period You're watching Eastern Washington University Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center. Time for P2 in Game 2 of the weekend for Eastern Washington and the UC San Diego Tritons. Both teams playing 4-4 this weekend, starting last night. Both teams falling. Eastern at the hands of California, 0-7, and San Diego 13-1 to Washington State. These two teams tied at 1 after the first 20 minutes, thanks to Lund for Eastern Washington and Nakashima for San Diego. University of California, San Diego in the white uniforms, moving from left to right across your screen this period. Eastern Washington in the black, red, and white uniforms, moving from right to left. My name's Tyler Pisani, as always, joined by Mr. Gary Allen. And
Mr. I like that.
Gary, that first period, I think a little bit concerning for Eastern Washington, and the fact that they weren't able to make a whole lot happen. The one goal from UCSD, a little bit fluky, but as it stands, it's 1-1, and it really doesn't matter how it crossed that goal line. It did, and Eastern hasn't been able to do it more. What does Eastern need to do in this period to convert those 18 shots into more goals?
The number one thing I'd like to see, actually two things I'd like to see Eastern do is, one, get back to their cycle game, because they're putting enough pressure on the netminder. Hasn't stood on his head so far, but they're putting the pressure on, but they're kind of missing that one last pass, and then try to spread the Tritons out a little bit more. They're kind of pinching in a little bit too much. Kick back out toward the boards a little bit more and see if they can do some of those cross ice passes that Eastern's notoriously they do it really well. And I think they do that, they might be able to get more of an offensive attack. But those are the three areas I would like to see Eastern kind of do, because their cycle attack works, and then it seems like once they cross the blue line, that they stop doing it. And then if they keep going ahead and playing that style, I think that'll open up the Tritons a little bit more also and make them chase them. But that's what I can see right now Eastern would I like to see them do.
When we talked about this a little bit during the intermission, and that'll be a high stick as DeZerkis touched that one first.
I think DeZerkis had it. It looked like it bounced a little bit off of the Tritons. But again, before I forget, I want to say in the first period, I've been extremely impressed with the officiating the last few weeks there. They have done an outstanding job. And just right there, that was a good play, but the officials have been top-notch so far.
They have been. And it's a credit to this ACHA Officiating Association that they've put together specifically for ACHA games here in the area. There's some officials that got together, realized how important it was that college hockey had quality officials. And not only have they formed their own association, but they're actually working as an association. Special training, special...
The Tritons are going in the box.
Yeah, I see that here. It'll be a slash against Mr. Andrew Chua.
But no, like you said, I really think they brought in some nice, really solid officials this year.
Well, just 1:55 of the second period. It is Andrew Chua hot to go to the penalty box.
Now here's where I really like to see Eastern get into a cycle game. They're using 4 forwards and 1 D-man, but it's an offensive-minded defenseman on that. So they have the weapons out there.
Well, and we talked about it, as I was saying, at intermission, that Eastern's doing a really good job of getting that puck to the slot. Where they're struggling is finding the puck in the slot and finding a way to get it past those leg pads of Mike Haskins.
Well, I'll tip my cap to Haskins. He's doing a nice job. But right now, what I'm seeing, Eastern's doing a better job of spreading out the Tritons. They're actually making them chase. And if they can scoot a guy into that low slot area, they might be able to get a tip in. But I like how the movement by the Eagles right now is going.
Up top to DeZerkis. He's going to feed it over to the far side. And then he's going to go plant himself in the slot. Looking for it on the near post was Lund. Wells now to Jelinek. Jelinek parallel to the blue line. Now down low to DeZerkis. DeZerkis trying to get it back to Lund, who is crashing towards the goal mouth. And instead it's going to go all the way back down.
But again, they had a nice little cycle going right there, and they started to get UCSD chasing them a little bit more. And so that's going to bode well if they continue with that attack.
4 skaters crossing the line at the same time for Eastern Washington. Smith with the puck on the far side to Arver in front of the Zamboni door. Back to Smith. Over to Arver again. He's going to wind that one up. And that one hits Jelinek right in the midsection. He's still down. He's going to have to get back to the bench. Jelinek taking that hard shot from Robbie Arver right on the inner thigh, it looked like.
I think that's Stevenson that got hit.
But was that Stevenson?
Yeah.
My eyes. It's not doing it tonight.
Well, no, you do. I was watching Jelinek and said, no,
you're right. Jelinek is definitely still out there. So Wyatt Stevenson,
that was a wicked shot,
taking that one. Penalty expires, back to 5-a-side hockey. Triton's able to kill off another penalty. Looking for it out front, but nobody there. Now that one all the way down the ice. They're going to say icing as soon as Eastern clearly gets there. So no change for UCSD. And we talk about this sometimes on the Eastern side, that power play hangover. These are still tired skaters out there that have been skating around, most of them anyways, for at least a minute and a half of this penalty. And now they're all the way on the other side of the ice, about 120 feet from their bench. They've got to win this faceoff and hope that they can get over to the bench before Eastern puts any more pressure on them. But it looks like they're going to be able to do that.
One thing you picked up on that, and I really like seeing that, and I hope Eastern does it more, they were pinching down their defensemen on that power play, and that's what Cal does tremendously. They always are floating 4 guys in on top of the netminer, so Eastern looks like they took a page out of Cal's book, and they did that in that power play.
Yeah, a delayed penalty coming against UCSD, I think. The Tritons unable to stay out of the box early in this second period. This one coming 4:36, as it's going to be Gauzoilis for a board.
And now this is interesting. It looks like Eastern has put out a lineup of Frank Flood and Robbie Arver and Sean Smith. And they're a real physical line. So I'm wondering if they're decided, like, okay, let's try to muscle up a little bit more, use our speed. Because if you look on D, they got Pellerin, who's real quick. And Thompson is back on D a little bit also on this. So they got some bangers out there. So I'm wondering if they're not going to decide, okay, let's try to get real physical and sneak down the guy and try to put the puck in the net. But this is an interesting line that Eastern put out.
That's a good catch, because you're right. I mean, big guys out there. Not necessarily the guys you'd expect on the goal-scoring side with Dzurkis, Lund, and Lusk. They've got the bangers out there. And just like that, Arver, first touch, puts a man into the boards. Weissmuller forcing Shijubiawa to come out of his net. Now Flood on the far side. He's got Best behind him. He's got Arver in the middle. He's going to go to Smith. Or Smith, not Best. I'll figure out these numbers eventually. We've only got, 3 months until the PAC8 championship?
That's right.
We'll have them narrowed down by then.
We'll be on our game by the time that comes there. But see, now they're Eastern. I really like what I'm seeing Eastern doing. They're really shaking up their lines, and they're doing a nice job of the bangers, and they got some finesse guys, and and I'm really glad to see they're trying to mix things up right now. I'm trying to get a feel for it.
Now you've got Wells, Dzurkis, Lusk, Lund, and on the far side, Jelinek. With speed comes Lusk. Tries to push it over to the far post, can't do it, but picking it up is Lund, and instead that'll be a turnover as it skitters down the ice. Halfway through the power play. Chichubiawa out of his net. He's going to push it over to the far side. Wells backhands it behind the goal as the Eagles look to set up. Cross the PAC8 logo goes Smith. Cross the center stripe, and now being pushed towards the bench by Lund, who he was shadowing, but I'm not sure that was necessarily the game plan. And the Eagles not able to keep any possession in the attacking end. They're able to build it up all the way to that blue line, but as they cross into enemy territory, it heads all the way back down. See Luke there getting his big, scary growl on, trying to hide player back behind the net.
One thing the Tritons are doing really well at is Eastern's getting into their zone, but they're not allowing them to really set up. They're putting in that one stick, and then they're blocking the passing really well. And so you got to give you kudos to the Tritons on that one.
Flood's hanging out at the Triton blue line behind a couple of players. They're going to look for that stretch pass. Now he's going to come back towards Cheney. Cheney feeds it towards Arver in the center. Arver a swing and a miss. And now the Tritons with a chance in the offensive zone. Arver with a big hug on Tatoian. Near side now as Pellerin picks it up.
What was nice to see was Eastern right there. You mentioned how Flood was sitting over by the blue line, skating around looking for that stretch pass, and he came back in to the neutral zone, and Carson Kendall on the opposite side, he was parked at the blue line. I think they're looking for that stretch pass.
Pellerin, kind of a double touch there as he got his own rebound, used Carson Kendall as that screen. But was able to get the shot off.
That's really nice to see. Eastern's changing up some of their attack, their game plan right now, because that was an interesting move. Having Flood initially, he peels off, goes back, but Kendall comes back in on the opposite side. And so I think they are going to try to attack them with that stretch pass, especially in that neutral zone. So it's interesting to see there's some little subtle changes Eastern's trying to do, which is going to bode well if they continue with that.
At the top of the zone, Boot trips over the blue line, but puck's on the other side. He gets back up quickly. Now DeGiulio loses that one, pushes it over to the far side now with Tartaglia for UCSD. That one up ahead. DeGiulio having a chase. And instead it'll be the Tritons that get there first. Boot on the far side, looking to use his wheels to go around the UCSD defense, but he's still losing his skates. Finally able to fall down, stop, and turn around in the far corner. That one goes in and out of the end of the ice. So we'll have another stoppage here. 11:43. I don't know that there is a name for that. As I was searching for one, the area behind the goal line and the wall. No man's land, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Either way, you can word it however you want to, really. I mean, it sounds intelligent however you word it. So that's the main thing.
Face-off coming again. This time Smith tries to win it forward for Eastern Washington, but the first player there is Chua for the Tritons. There's going to be a delayed penalty against Eastern here.
And then Koala's going to go for an elbow.
They're going to get him for a charge, it looks like.
Oh.
You don't see that one every day.
No, you don't. I knew it was going to be Nate. There's no question about that. He was going to get called on it. But I'm really, really enjoying seeing how Eastern's doing little subtle changes, see if they can get this going. But I don't know about you, but Haskins is playing lights out. Right now, it's unfortunate Eastern keeps running up against these hot goaltenders because I don't know who was in net yesterday when they played the Cougars, but Haskins has been tremendous tonight.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of leagues out there that would say this, but for my money, the PAC8 has the best net minding in the country, especially at the D2 level, just across the board. There's something about the West Coast out here of the great old US of A that just breeds these net minders.
And you're dead accurate on that one. They have some outstanding net miners. You know, you look at Eastern, they got a tremendous staff of net miners. And it's interesting, but I think, you know, somebody might say, well, no, we think ours, but no, these net miners have been just tremendous that I've been watching this year.
Well, Haskins, 6 feet tall back there in net for the Tritons, but he looks much bigger than that. especially the way that he's filling up that net for them this weekend.
Well, he plays it really well. He comes out a little bit further and makes that net look even smaller.
This one fed out front to the slot, taken away by Boot. And Haskins tries to get that one down the ice. Smith on the forecheck slaps it down and slows down the Tritons just a bit, but no slowing down as Tatoian smashes that one off of the red iron crossbar. Up to the top of the zone again, now down on the right side. Miller has it for San Diego. Up top, Chavez off of the window. Big chop by Stevenson, and that's going to roll down the ice. Flood looking to beat out Chavez, but Chavez is going to get there first. Flood not giving up yet. He's able to get that one for his team. A turnover for San Diego, and Flood looks to reset. He didn't realize he had Arver in the end already. That one a high dump off of some of the equipment up in the air. So what could have been a promising attack is going to go back into neutral ice just in front of the penalty box of UC San Diego.
But what Frank Flood really did well right there, he chewed up at least an extra 6-7 seconds by deciding to go back into the neutral zone, pulling it out. I see what you're saying with Arver out there, but I'm wondering if he was looking at the clock and said, okay, I'm going to get some more time off the clock, because that was an outstanding job by him to eat up a lot of seconds on that penalty.
Arver with that long stick, able to poke it away for the moment. Now Pellerin just going to send that all the way down the ice. Two teams playing 200-foot hockey, pass mostly from end to end, and now through neutral ice. Arver pushes it ahead. Shot taken, sticked into the netting by Carson Kendall. So we'll have a face-off inside of the San Diego end.
Well, how we were talking about the little change Eastern's doing. The only one other thing I'd like to see him do is put somebody in front of Haskins and try to block some of his view and see if that will get that puck to go in the net. Because right now, he's just a brick wall for the Tritons.
Well, and Robbie Arver's out there, and he's near the slot. He's going to go back out towards the faceoff dot. Wins the draw for the Eagles. Able to push it away towards the wall, but taken off of his stick. And now here comes San Diego. Players falling all over each other as they come into the zone. And again, a pass through neutral ice all the way back to the defenseman. Wells backhands it off the wall, pushes it up ahead to Kendall. Kendall rims it around over to the far side. Jelinek with it. Backhands behind the net to Lund. Lund pushes it up top. Quick shot through traffic by Roach, but off the mark. Now a chance from Boot, but that one into the leg pads of Chua as his teammates head the other direction. Off the wall to Fitzgerald. Deep in the zone is Emma Hewler. Trickles through the blue paint. Jelinek in front of the Zamboni gate, now in front of the Eastern net. Tipped out front by Best, but wide of the mark. Best finishes his check as Chua handles the puck back behind the goal line. That one pushed back to his teammate, Dukakis. San Diego really deliberately passing here, and a good defensive stand by Boot. As coming to crash in on the puck was Sean Miller, and he was all alone. Now Jelinek on the right side. On the net. Sticked away by the shaft of Haskins. Pellerin unable to keep it in. He's going to send it in, but just to the waiting stick of Weissmuller.
One thing I've noticed that San Diego's doing in the last 4 or 5 minutes, they're just sending 2 players in. When they're in Eastern's zone, they're leaving 3 people back, and I'm wondering if that's how they haven't decided that's how they're going to try to stop that stretch pass Eastern's trying to do, but it's a definitely interesting style that they're playing, but it's working for them.
It's been effective so far in this period. Nobody able to find the back of the net for either team as we tick past the 13-minute mark of this period. And that'll be an icing as it floats back behind Luke Shachubioa. He's only had 9 shots to face tonight, and he's done a great job with that one fluky goal that bounced up and over his head and then on the line, then off the line and off of his back. But he's done well between the pipes for Eastern Washington so far.
Well, he's definitely keeping Eastern in this game. It's just they got to figure out Haskins on how they're going to put the puck behind him. But no, Eastern's playing a strong game. They're just having trouble finding that little last effort to get it into the twine.
With some speed comes Pellerin. He's going to send that down the ice, but nobody in a black uniform on that side of the center stripe. Winged wide by DeFreitas. That's who I thought had scored the first goal for UCSD. But they credit it to Nakashima.
It's good to see Stevenson back there because he took a heck of a shot in the midsection.
There's a lot of torque that goes into a shot from a 6'4" player, and he took all of it.
Yes.
$5.50 left in this middle frame. Tickets for tomorrow's game online at EWEagleshockey.com. Special game time of 6 p.m. Tickets just $10. You get them online. Skip the door. Don't wait in the line here. Again, EWEagleshockey.com for tickets to tomorrow's game and the rest of the games this season. On Monday, that 7 a.m. game, special admission price, $0. Shot from the point as Arver tries to poke that in, covered up by Haskins. But from everything we saw in the first period last night, Eastern and Cal could be a fantastic game tomorrow here at 6 o'clock. Before that, the Tritons take on the Washington State University Cougars, looking to avenge their loss from last night.
Well, so there's no question in my mind watching last night's game and seeing how Eastern's playing tonight. It'll definitely be a heck of a contest.
Arver with the backhand from the goal line. I'm not sure how he found space, but he slapped at it, and it found twine.
Well, what Robbie did extremely well on that one, he didn't give up. And we'll see a replay on it right now. But if you just kind of watch him, he doesn't stop. He goes right toward the net, and then he found that little opening. And that's where Arver's really effective when he's down by that net. Down low on it.
So we see here off of the faceoff, he just crashed, chased the puck towards that goalpost and poked it home.
And if we would have saw, if you noticed how he just when the faceoff happened, he went right toward the net, and that's where he's most effective at it, right outside that blue paint area, and he just put the puck right in between Haskins' legs.
And officially, Robbie Arver's 4th goal of the season, coming 14-31 of the second period. Unassisted as he won that faceoff, found the puck and poked it home. So just like that, Eastern Washington up by 1 with less than 5 to play in this second period. Pellerin now up ahead to Arver, just out of his reach. Now back towards neutral ice. Taken away by the Tritons, and that's quite possibly going to send Carson Kendall to the locker room. It depends on what they'll call here. But he definitely made contact with the head of Nakashima, who's having a rough night here. So it looks like they're only going to give 2 to Carson. Eastern getting away with 1 there, as that was, I think, maybe a little high, but
there was no ill intent by
not at
Carson
all
on that one. In fact, actually, he went right to the player and check came out to make sure it was. So it wasn't anything vicious or intentional. It just happened. And I think that's why he only got the 2 minute.
So Kendall, 2 minutes for a high stick. And Eastern Washington heading to the penalty kill. Nate Kowalik loses his stick, able to pick it back up, but a big battle in the corner, and Eastern Washington not able to come away with the puck. The Tritons battling in the corner. Puck just sitting there as DeFreitas had to get free of Kowalik. Off of the wall on the far side, bouncing towards the net. Kowalik tries to get it clear, but can't get it past the blue line. Triton's trying to do it for him, but not able to. Lund trying to dig it out. There's nobody behind him, and instead it looks like it was Chavez that sent that towards the Eastern end. Now back towards Haskins. He's going to stick that towards the corner. The Eastern not letting up on the pressure despite being down a man as we tick towards the halfway point in this penalty.
Well, we've talked about a lot with Eastern. They will attack if they're shorthanded. They're not afraid to do it, and they're used to being shorthanded. And so teams can't count them out. They are actually looking to constantly push the puck. All right, there, Smitty intercepts it and puts
he
it
goes
in.
Top shelf. Can't get any higher than that one as it clangs off of the iron on the way in. And Sean Smith adds the 5th shorthanded goal of the season for Eastern Washington.
But you pick this up on the replay. You'll see Smitty. He just got it, put himself right in front of that slot. The puck came out to him, and he was ready for it. He just did a one-timer on it. Nice job by Sean Smith.
See if we can take a look at the replay here.
If you just watch Smith when we kick that replay, you just see how he's moving it right in the middle of that slot.
Back here to take a look at it. So the puck comes in and Smitty takes it, finds his spot, and just like that, Eastern Washington doubles their lead shorthanded. Second unassisted goal for the Eagles.
But again, it goes back to the Eagles are not afraid to being a man down to go on the attack. They've been that way for the last 2 years. They'll just keep going.
And Smith taking some punishment here after scoring that goal on this shift. It's been planted into the boards twice. Finally, he's going to head back to the bench as out of the box comes Carson Kendall. He's going to head back to the bench as well. Taking a spot as Dom DeZerkis. Good stick in the center of the ice by Liam Fitzgerald. If he wasn't able to hold on to that one, there was 2 black jerseys on the other side of it. DeZerkis with it now. He's going to trip up.
He decided to take his player and one of the Tritons out on that one play.
Lusk back behind it. He was behind the last defender. They're going to call this a trip, I assume. I don't think he was completely clear. So as much as the fans here are looking for a penalty shot, I don't think they're going to get one. But they are going to get another Eastern Washington power play. This will be Eastern's 5th of the night.
Definitely a trip.
Trip on Jason Wang. This one coming 17:55 of the second period. The Eagles heading back on the power play. Their last goal was shorthanded. So the special teams doing what they can so far tonight. But the Eagles unable to win faceoffs on the special teams here so far, especially on the power play.
This is a huge goal either way for the Tritons. They don't want to get that far behind, and for the Eagles, they can kind of solidify this game into their control if they can pop this puck in.
Wells with it. He holds on to it from the point back down to DeZerkis. DeZerkis looking to go goal mouth, and sealing off that post was Haskins.
For as big as he is very quick on his feet. He has some solid moves.
Wellesley is waiting for that one at the top of the zone. That's where it's going to go. He's going to put it on net. No, he's going to go near side to DeZerkis. DeZerkis all the way far side. Sauced it over to Lusk. Lusk trading spaces with Wells. And unfortunately, that shot by DeZerkis too tall. Big bounce out into the neutral zone. And Tatoian able to hold on to it. Gives Tartaglia time to get in, but it's going to go back out into neutral ice. The Tritons wisely trying to kill off as much clock as possible. Jelinek tried to slap that one down. Dezerkis all the way back on defense. Now up top to Jelinek. That one into the glove of Haskins. He just snatched that one.
I love watching Dom Dezerkis sets up. He, especially on the power play, he lines up exactly where Ovechkin does. That's his office. If you watch him in every power play, he sits there and his shot is a rocket. If he gets a clean shot on that one, usually it goes in. But that's just reminiscent of how Ovechkin lines up and right at that mid slot area.
Well, it's worked out for him this year. Looking to clean it up here is Thompson. Out front to Arver. Arver already has one today. Thompson over to Pellerin. Pellerin up top to Smith. Near side to Thompson. Thinks about it. Goes out front. Stevenson had his hips the wrong way. Had to turn around to get that one on net. And that'll do it for the second period here. Eastern Washington doubling their goal total from the first frame as they lead UCSD 3-1, out shooting the Tritons 31-10, but UCSD not going anywhere. As these two teams head to the locker room, it's 3-1 Eagles over the Tritons. You're watching Eastern Washington University hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to Cheney, Washington for the third period of action between the Eagles and the Tritons, a PAC8 matchup here in Cheney. Second game for both of these teams of a 4-4 in combination with Washington State University and the Cal Golden Bears. Those two teams played earlier to a 7-4 defeat for the Cougars. These two teams playing to a 3-1 final result so far, or a 3-1 result so far. Not quite final, still 20 more minutes. Just ready to get to the next game, Gary. We've got so many this weekend.
You're pumped. I can tell you're pumped up. There's no doubt.
Absolute rocket that time by Sean Miller. He's been all over the place for the Tritons. And looking to go goalward was Frank Flood.
He just split that D. He just split the Tritons D on that one. Nice play by Frank.
If you've just joined us, you may be asking how we got here. It started with Peyton Lund opening the scoring in the first period, and then it was for Eastern Washington, and then it was Alex Nakashima who floated one up and over the top of Luke Shichubioa, and it fluttered across the line. He ended up being getting injured on the play. Nakashima, but he was able to come back out. He's been giving Eastern Washington some problems since then, but since then it has been all Eastern Washington. Last period, Robbie Arver, his fourth of the year, followed by Sean Smith, short-handed, the Eagles' fifth shorty of the season, and that puts us at 3-1. Eastern Washington out shooting UCSD by nearly a 3-1 margin, 32-12. But it's been the man between the pipes, Michael Haskins, that's really been the difference maker here in this one.
Haskins played outstanding tonight. But, you were talking about earlier in the second period about the goaltending in this league on the West Coast. And this is how good they are. If you remember the old San Jose goalie from the last couple of years, Chuck Linus, he's the emergency backup goalie for the San Jose Sharks of the NHL. So that tells you just how good the net minding is in this league, and that kind of piggybacks. And I thought about that in between periods. You're right. I mean, net minding in this league is incredible. But I do like what I'm seeing out of Eastern. They've tweaked a little bit. They're experimenting with some little minor changes that seem to really give them a lot of life in that second period, and especially on those two goals, just small little adjustments that they made, and it's worked really well for them, especially this continue with their cycle game and this little pinches here, there, that they really have tweaked their style, and it's working for them.
You talked about the goaltending in this league. In the top 10, unofficially, there are two PAC8 netminders as Eastern Washington coming down the ice. Lusk has it on the far side. You've got Aiden Comu from the Cal Golden Bears with a .968 save percentage over 9 games. I'm sorry, over 10 games, and that'll be an icing. So UCSD not able to get some fresh skates on the ice. And then rounding out the top 10, Jonah Nash for the University of Washington, coming in with a .959 save percentage. 2 wins already this year.
No, so if you like watching goaltenders, come out in one of these games out here, because so far every team has a top-notch netminder. A couple of teams have 2 or 3. It's just a joy to watch.
A rip from the far side, bangs off of everything out there and squirts its way back towards the top of the zone. Wells across the blue line from the center, looking to go 5-hole, squeezed tight by the legs of Haskins. That's Haskins' 31st save of the night.
Haskins definitely has kept the Tritons in this game, because Eastern's continue with their attack, which I really like seeing. They started to do that toward the end of the first period, putting more pressure, especially in the second, and they picked up right here in the third. And Haskins, if he wasn't on top of his game, this game could be out of control right now.
Well, especially with, as we said, 34 shots on net for Eastern Washington, just barely 3 minutes into this third period. Out front to Mills. Sean Miller makes one man miss, gets the shot off, but wide of the mark. Off on the backside is Tartaglia. Up to the top of the zone, slapped in by Wang. Bouncing puck out front, backhanded towards the net. And again, a dirty, gritty goal at the top of the blue paint. And UCSD pulls within one in just their 13th shot of the contest.
Well, Luke initially had the save, and it bounced out a little bit further, so he couldn't get to the stick to it to brush it aside. But you got to give the Tritons credit. They came down, and they flooded two players on it, and they poked it in on them. Eastern definitely cannot. They got to keep the foot on the gas. That's the one thing I want to watch in this period.
We'll take a look here at the replays. You see it comes right out front, and Eastern just not able to clear it from the blue paint.
Every once in a while, a netminder needs a little help from his players to get that puck out of that harm's way. And unfortunately on that one, that didn't happen.
So that goal officially 3:38 of the third period. Reese Weissmuller from Sean Miller. And Luca Tartaglia. So Tartaglia and Luca feeding Weissmuller 3:38 for UCSD's second goal. But UCSD sending a man to the box now. So Chua, 2 minutes for interference. Exactly 4 minutes of this third period. So Eastern looking to get back on, or looking to extend their lead again here. Wells spinning around both directions, trying to get Nakashima off of the puck. Finally able to do so. Minute 30 left on the power play. And Eastern Washington's really struggled tonight getting anything going on the power play. They were able to get a shorthanded goal. And almost a dangerous turnover there as Miller picked it up on the backside. Wells was trying to feed it off to his own man on the other side of the ice. Now on the right side is Thompson. He's got a man in the middle. He's going to try and take it himself. And Thompson put into the netminder, and cleaning it up was Dom DeZerkis, it looks like. Actually, no, that's Frank Flood.
Yeah, we'll catch that on the replay. But what Frank did really well, he didn't quit on the play. He saw what was going on, and he trailed it. Here we come right here. If you watch Frank, he's right now in the middle.
And I think the point of contention here is going to be Thompson, but he was most certainly pushed into the netminder there.
Oh, and a great job by Sam Thompson on that to even cut in on that defenseman to get the puck out there. But if Frank Flood wouldn't have followed up on that, that goal doesn't happen. Kudos to Flood because he didn't give up. He just kept going toward it, and he ended up got rewarded for it.
Him and Kendall chest bump at the blue line. Both of them end up on the ice for a moment. Kendall battling for the puck off into the corner. He's still got it. He's got a couple of players up top. He's going to look to do it himself. And they're going to give that one to Flood unassisted as it was off of the rebound. The Eagles really looking to use their body as we get deeper into this contest. Roach with some speed at the blue line. He's got a couple of white uniforms in front of him. Takes the shot off of the top of the glass. Now sticked away into the corner again. Roach with it. First player there as he knocks Fleming off into the corner. Boot has it down along the yellow runner. Far side picking it up as Fleming. He's knocked off of the puck. A swing and a miss by Thompson. As Eastern getting some fresh skates. Chua all the way down. And they're going to say it was touched. And the linesman on the far side saying no icing, but the linesman on the near side, arm up, blows the whistle. So action back down in the shadow of the catwalk. Next to Michael Haskins, who has 31 saves on the night.
That was a great response by Eastern on that one, especially after the Titans got that goal. You wanted to see how they responded. Great job by them to keep attacking. It didn't really affect them, and you could tell that their momentum didn't go away. And that was a nice job by Flood to just follow up and help his line mates out and get that goal. That was a crucial goal for Eastern.
Puck bouncing out front, and a lot of hard work, gritty goals for the Eagles so far in this one. The last 3 goals, all unassisted. Arver winning the face-off, walking it in. On the first one, Sean Smith picking it up in the center of the neutral zone, finding it short-handed. And then just there, Frank Flood doing whatever minor hockey coach wants you to do. Crash that net front, pick up that loose puck, and he did exactly that.
Any coach, it doesn't matter what league, they want to see you crash in that net. But you're right, you hit it on the head really well. Eastern's starting to get those gritty goals that they were lacking earlier in the season. Now you're seeing them pick up more, and that's going to really bode well for them going forward.
I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your teammates. You have to trust that they're going to be able to cover you when you follow those shots.
And that's huge. It really is, especially when their D-men decide they're going to pinch in and go in for the offensive end. They got to have a lot of trust with their partner to have, okay, he's going in, I know my back's covered. That's a big part of this game.
13-15 left to play in this one. Again, if you're a fan of Eastern Washington hockey, head over to eweagleshockey.com. Pick up your tickets for tomorrow's game against the Cal Golden Bears. If you're an early riser Monday morning, these two teams do battle at 7 a.m. here at the URC. Some great hotel rates at our hotel sponsor, Holiday Inn Express. Be sure to give them a call. Holiday Inn Express, Cheney. They'll hook you up. Let them know that you're with the Eagles.
You're being kind. When you said early in Monday morning, you're being really kind.
I mean, it could be a very late Sunday night. It's Veterans Day. Most people have the day off. Maybe you want to go out, have an all-nighter, come here, end it at the URC. It's not quite hallelujah hockey on a Monday that early.
But that's a nice way of looking at it. You have to get up that early. I like how you sensibly threw that out there. It's like, well, that wasn't quite what I was thinking, but that was a nice job, Tyler.
And as we said, those tickets free of charge. So just show up here, make some noise for the Eagles as they battle UCSD again on Sunday.
But again, a great crowd here tonight. There was a great crowd here last night. Eastern's drawing really well for this hockey program.
A lot of hard work put in behind the scenes. The turnover here, Sean Miller, forehand, backhand, stopped by Luke.
I'd like to catch a replay on that one because that was probably the best save Luke has made all year. He had to be on top of that one. And his glove, he's got a quick glove hand, and that he just demonstrated right there. Outstanding job by him. Tremendous save.
We'll take a look at that as this play builds up coming into the zone. And you see this pass right across, almost specifically to Sean Miller, and actually looks like we jump back live here, so we'll see if we can get that one again in just a moment.
Because, I would like to see that. Man, he just flooded a glove right out there and just did a tremendous job.
See if we can get Luke some love here in just a moment at the next stoppage. Battle for the puck back behind the net. Off into the far side. Now here comes UCSD. Chopped high back below the goal line. Cheney having to chase. He's going to put a shoulder right into the middle of the chest of Chavez. But now the puck all the way back down. And they'll call that an icing with 11:18 to play. We'll see if we get that replay queued up.
That was an incredible save by Luke on that one. He had to be on top of his game on that one because that puck was going to go in if he didn't stop it. And just his quickness.
So now let's take a look back at that replay. You see a mistake here by Eastern Washington. Sean Miller walks in, forehand, backhand, gloved by Luke Shachubiawa.
Tremendous save by Luke. Just a great save. That really, and you could see it gave Eastern a little bit more life on that one. That was a major save by him.
Now more pressure in the attacking zone, but here come the Tritons. Pulling it back is DeFreitas.
Well, if you saw that, it was a 3-on-1, and Frank Flood did a great job of back checking. He took out the player that was going to get the pass. Outstanding job by Flood to get back into it. Stuffed that play.
Well, Triton's still in possession. Nakashima, he scored the first goal. He's looking to pull it even. Instead, he's pinned against the wall. Battling for the puck, and that's going to be Kowalik. He's going to take, we'll see what they call him for. But that was a high hit back behind the net.
They'd spend some time in the box tonight.
We'll see what signal we get here. It looks like two players, one for each. An elbow for Kowalik for Eastern Washington, and a rough in retaliation from Zach Fleming. These penalties coming just 9:41 of the third period.
But I can't say enough about Michael Haskins and his net minding tonight. He has definitely kept the Titans in this game.
So 4-on-4 hockey again for the second time this evening. Neither team able to score the last time. The Eagles in possession now in their own end. Lusk going around everybody, takes it in, back down to Zerkis with the backhand rebound attempt there. And a good read again by Haskins, able to keep this one at a deficit of 4-2. That one rides up the stick of Boot. He's knocked off the puck, but there to pick it up is Lusk. 1:15 left on the 4-on-4. This one's going to skitter down the ice. First player there is Chavez. Chavez in the neutral zone. Sends it towards Chichubiawa, and he's going to hold on to that one with 56 seconds left on the matching minor penalties.
I want to go back to Chichubiawa save on that one that he did. That was the type of save that really almost turns the whole game around, because that gave Eastern a lot of life. Because if that puck would have went in, I think Eastern would have started wondering, and that save alone gave Eastern a lot of jump in their step. Just a tremendous save by Luke.
That's definitely a momentum helper there.
It's huge.
Or at least a mindset helper there for Eastern Washington. I think they looked at the score from yesterday against WSU, 13-1, and thought, okay, maybe this one's not going to be as tough as the night before, but they are struggling here to find the back of the net. Players all over each other in the corner. Up top to Cheney. He thinks about it. Back behind the net to Lund. Lund knocked off of the puck. Without his stick is Chua. Lund still can't get to it. Chua, no stick, still somehow the only player in control of the puck. And now Flood looking to use his body.
Flood's getting gritty out there. He is starting to use his body tremendously.
And here he comes. He's got Arver on the left side. Forehand, backhand, back of the glove. Haskins had it. He had Arver on the backside, and Arver's letting him know, next time use me, buddy. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but I can't say enough about Haskins on that one, because Flood did it correctly. He went in. Arver, he was using him almost like a decoy, and Haskins just stood his ground.
Haskins had no concerns about Arver at all, and a fantastic glove save there that kept his team in this one. Spin move by Rollick. Gets around Roach. A couple of players come together hard. And Rollick
now this is going
down on the ice.
It's interesting if they call Roach, because Roach came back up and did a nice check. It looked like we might be able to catch that on the replay, because I didn't see what he did.
It looked like they just kind of ran into each other. And we'll see. So that's Roach going to take a 2-minute seat. We'll see what they call.
Because Roach initially got hit. He got up, and it looked like a clean hit.
Let's take a look at this replay here. It comes down the ice. There's a big hit first between
That was Roach that fell
Roach.
down. There it is.
And Roach does take a couple of strides, and that is a return on Rollick for sure.
I missed the 2 strides. I just saw him use the body, but yeah, you're right.
That is a well earned timeout
That was a good
for
call by
Mr.
the
Roach.
official. I'll give it to the official. I missed his 2 strides.
And that was definitely retaliatory for what had happened prior to that, just by a couple of steps.
Oh, absolutely no question about that, because he got blown up. He got up and decided, no. I missed, like I said, the strides. But Brody's game he's picking up his physicality as the more the season goes on. He's starting to bang more and more and more. So
Triton's not giving up with 7:30 to play on the man advantage.
now, I give them a lot of credit. They haven't folded at all. They keep charging hard, but here comes a break for Smith.
Here comes Smith. He's got, looks like that was Sean Miller again. He's kind of been everywhere in this third period.
Miller just stopped that breakaway off that one. Great job by him to back check off of that one, because Smith had it all by himself, and Miller just charged back in. Nice play by him.
Speaking of a charge, that's what they gave Roach. 2-minute charge to Chuiawa. A little theatrical there. So 6:56 to play in this third period. 1:02 left on the minor penalty to Brody Roach.
Got to have a little theatrics every once in a while.
Face-off coming stick side of Luke Chuiawa. Pellerin tied up in front of the Zamboni gate by DeFreitas. DeFreitas with it still. Goes to Chua at the top of the zone, and they're going to let him fire from there through traffic. Cheney trying to knock off DeFreitas from the puck. Now up to the top of the zone to Chua. Chua has it tipped by Jelinek. Out front, bouncing puck again. First save made by Chuiawa. The Eagles not able to get it past the blue line. Jelinek going to take off down the ice as Lund fires that one. Again, sent all the way into the corner from the eastern end of the ice. 5 ticks of the clock left on Roach's minor penalty.
Eastern's doing a great job of picking up the Tritons in the neutral zone, and they're not allowing them to go in.
Zerkis from the right side in his office. Same thing you've been saying all night. Right on top of that faceoff dot. And that one on the mark, but another good stop by Haskins. Turnover in the defensive zone by the Eagles, but again, it's the glove of Luke that keeps the score line as it is. 41 shots for the Eagles, 19 for UCSD so far. The Tritons getting the puck on the net quite a bit more in this third period.
They are. But Luke has definitely held his ground. He's doing a really nice job for Eastern.
DeZerkis with it. He pushes it up ahead. Lusk parallel to the blue line, corrals the puck. He's got Smith chasing behind him, but it gets lost in the skates of Adrian Chavez. Cheney has to get there first. Now pushed up ahead. DeZerkis tips it at the center stripe, and he's going to put it right in the blue paint. Covered up by Haskins.
Eastern is playing a strong game tonight. And again, I give the Tritons credit. They're fighting real hard. But Haskins is, let's call it like it is. He's the one that's kept them in this game. But Eastern is just a total different team from last night. They are really motoring well tonight.
I think after that first period, they thought they were definitely in that game last night and kind of fell apart from them at that point. So today, really good to see them be able to hold it together for at least 55 minutes so far.
But there's a great example of how Haskins keeping him in the game. His glove he's extremely quick with it. And that was a point blank shot. I think that was Roach that took it, and he just snagged it. And he was screened also. The kids just played unbelievable tonight for San Diego.
Face-off one on top of the dot by Eastern Washington. Right back out front, and now the Tritons have a player planted right at that blue line. That was Sean Miller, but he had to circle back around. Couldn't control that pass from the get-go. So felt it better for his team to reset. Again, looking for that stretch pass, but Miller can't get past Wells. He's able to hold up Wells enough for the Tritons to get into the zone. Backhander from the slot, taken away by the Eagles. That one just kind of died off of the legs of a player out front. Wells on the right side. And sliding out of his crease goes Haskins. Save 39 of the night.
Well, I think you're going to start seeing San Diego take some more chances. You know, they had Miller up there on the blue line for it. And I could easily see them trying to shoot somebody out and doing a long pass with it or pinch down their D-man. But I think they're going to start taking some risks.
Well, and that pass worked for them.
It did.
Miller just couldn't corral it. But if he was able to, he would have been able to just walk on in.
So I expect to see San Diego do a little bit more of that.
Well, and we will keep an eye on the netminder to see if, for UCSD, to see if he heads to the bench.
Great save. Right there's another point-blank shot. Shibawa, he shuts the door for Eastern. Excellent job by Luke.
So we'll have a face-off coming to Eastern Washington end of the ice. Threes across the clock. Third period. 43 shots for Eastern, 22 for the Tritons. 4-2 on the scoreboard. Timeout. UCSD taking a look back at the score sheet. How did we get here? Well, for Eastern Washington, it was Peyton Lund, assisted by Cole Best and Trent Wells. And those were the only two assists on all four of the goals for Eastern Washington. It was Robbie Arver, Sean Smith shorthanded, and then Frank Flood on the power play. The two goals from UCSD coming from Nakashima and Weissmuller. We'll see if Haskins heads back to the net, and he's going to at least for the faceoff.
And it's a tough call right now for the UCSD coach. Is do you want to pull Haskins now, or how long do you leave him in the net? Because he's played so strong tonight. But they're going to have to take some gambles with 3:33 left in this period. They're going to have to try something different right now.
And it's not going to be here as Eastern Washington wins that faceoff and takes the action right to Haskins. Jelinek proving that they can put it on the net from the neutral zone. Giving Haskins a little bit of pause before he heads out of his net. And we'll see if they do, in fact, pull him. A 2-goal advantage for Eastern Washington so far. And this one, again, going to squirt back towards him. And now here comes Lund. Forehand, backhand, looking to go 5-hole. And Haskins reads that all the way around.
Outstanding job by Haskins on that one.
Tatoian puts that on net with 2:49 left to play.
That's kind of what I was talking about a little earlier, just how well Haskins played to keep them in the game. The guys just stood on his head for the Tritons. Now, Eastern's got to be careful. They can't kick back and decide to play not to lose. They need to keep attacking a little bit and not scramble around, which I saw in the last about 30 seconds. It's like, no, keep attacking. Because sooner or later, I'd be surprised if San Diego doesn't pull the netminder.
Haskins doesn't look like he's going anywhere. He is pretty well comfortable back there, leaning on his net. I mean, he's not watching the bench, and the bench doesn't appear to be looking at him. So unless they've got some kind of predetermined time on the scoreboard, they may be leaving him in here with the 2-goal deficit. As the puck rolls back towards Mike Haskins. Picking it up was Wang. He's going to push it ahead to Chavez. Over to the far side is Dzurkis. Dzurkis has Lusk waiting at the slot. That one bounces away. And now goes the netminder. He heads to the bench. Puck back in the attacking end for UCSD. They're able to keep it in. DeFreitas leaves it off for Gerke as he comes in. Tipped out front, wide of the net. Nakashima, he spins it around. Battle for the puck against the wall in the low corner. Eastern Washington trying to keep that pinned for as long as possible as these seconds tick off. Just 90 more remain. Dzurkis again pins it against the wall. This one bouncing off of the far wall. Lusk trying to get there. He ends up on his knees, and then he's smashed in the head with a stick, and that's not what you want to see if you're UCSD. And I'm not sure how Andrew Chua can expect anything other than a trip to the box for that.
No, he can complain all he wants, so that was pretty blatant.
And that's going to make it that much tougher to get those 2 goals because for the next minute 16, they are all by themselves. They're going to call head contact. 2-minute minor here. Again, that one pretty blatant there. So hard to think that Chua has any complaints, although that had to have been pretty frustrating to have Joel Lusk in between your legs like that as you're trying to battle for the puck.
Well, I don't think he expected Lusk to keep going.
No, I mean, Lusk was a junkyard dog there. He was after that puck. He saw the open net. Smith with a rocket tipped by Arver up and into the netting. So 58.4 left to play here in Cheney. And they're going to bring that out into the neutral zone because it was tipped by Arver.
But that was a heads-up play by Robbie on that one just to get himself in front of the net to get that tip.
Now one back all the way to Pellerin. Adam trying to send it down the ice as Fleming slapped that back in, and Pellerin content with just killing off some seconds, but Eastern looking to add one more here late. Thompson on the right side. Good hip check by Chavez. I think they've got the wrong number on the board as Chavez is very obviously battling down in the corner. I think it's Chua, number 2 in the box. They've got a 4 on the board. This one out front again. Pellerin backhands it down the wall. 13 seconds remain. Arver looking for his second one. It's going to go over to the far side. Thompson not able to hold on to it. Pellerin looking to get there. He beats out Tatoian, and that'll do it for Eastern Washington. 1 for 1 so far this weekend in PAC8 play. They stay at an even 500 record, moving to 6-6-1.
But that was nice when they were right there. Right, they decided to go back on the attack, and they had San Diego bunch on the heels on that one. So that was great to see. It was a good hockey game tonight. Really looking forward to the Cal game tomorrow. I think Eastern's going to come out as a different team.
The Eastern winning 4-2 over UCSD. These two teams battle again 7 a.m. Monday morning. You can watch right here on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching this game. I think that might be broadcast free, but we will figure that out after the game tomorrow. Eastern Washington takes on the Cal Golden Bears, 6 p.m. Sunday here at the URC. Tickets available, EWUEagleshockey.com. For everybody on our broadcast crew tonight, from Harper to Jeff to Kayla, and as always, Gary Allen. My name's Tyler Pisani saying good night, go Eags, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.